In the early 7th century, the world's great powers were looking everywhere but here. The Byzantine Empire, heir to Rome, gazed west. The Persian Sasanian Empire, jeweled and ancient, looked east. Between them lay Arabia, a vast, fractured land of warring tribes, forgotten trade routes, and whispered prophecies. No empire was watching the desert. And from its silence, a storm was about to break that would redraw the map of the world, forge a new civilization, and change the course of human history forever. For Muhammad, a respected merchant of Mecca, this was not an expected calling. The voice commanded him to recite words that were not his own. The first revelation of the Quran proclaimed a devastatingly simple core: there is no God but God. A radical monotheism that called the polytheism of Mecca into judgment. It was a message of social justice, care for the orphan, the poor, the widow, and of the imminent day of reckoning. He preached, and a small community of believers, the Muslims, formed. But Mecca's elite, guardians of the lucrative pagan pilgrimage, saw a threat.
You scorn our gods, Muhammad. You divide our community. Your words bring strife. I bring only what has been commanded, to worship the one who created you, to establish justice. Then you leave us no choice.
Persecution turned to assassination plots. In 622 CE, the community made the Hijra, the emigration, to Medina. This event is year zero of the Islamic calendar. Here, Muhammad was not just a preacher, but a statesman. He drafted the Constitution of Medina, binding the diverse tribes, Muslim and non-Muslim, into a single community, an ummah, based on law and mutual defense. The biblical parallel is profound. Like Moses leading his people to a new social compact, Muhammad was forging a chosen community in the wilderness. Conflict with Mecca was inevitable. At the Battle of Badr in 624, a vastly outnumbered Muslim force achieved a stunning victory, seen as divine favor. After years of struggle, Muhammad returned to Mecca not as a conqueror, but in triumph, cleansing the Kaaba of idols and establishing it as the focal point for the worship of the one God. By his death, in 632 CE, the Arabian Peninsula was united under Islam not just by faith, but by political and military reality. As the Quran states, echoing the Great Commission of Matthew, "You are the best community brought forth for mankind, enjoining what is right and forbidding what is wrong." What happened next is one of history's most breathtaking military and political expansions. Within 30 years of the Prophet's death, Muslim armies took the Holy Land, Egypt, and the colossal Persian Empire. They shattered a Byzantine army at Yarmouk in 636. Why? The empires were exhausted from decades of war against each other. Local populations, often persecuted for heterodox Christian beliefs, frequently welcomed the new rulers who asked for tribute, not conversion. The Muslims offered a simple deal: submit to God and His messenger, or pay a tax for protection under Muslim rule. Conversion was slow, but the change of power was swift. This is the abomination of desolation spoken of by the prophet Daniel, standing in the holy place. "Peace be upon you. Show me the site of the Temple of Solomon." This explosive growth triggered a crisis of succession and legitimacy. The murder of Caliph Uthman led to civil war. The defeat and martyrdom of Hussein at Karbala in 680 cemented a permanent divide. From this chaos emerged a new imperial model, the Umayyad Caliphate, based in Damascus. They built an empire, adopting Byzantine and Persian bureaucracy, minting coins, building the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem, as a statement of a new faith's ascendancy. They were followed by the Abbasid Caliphate, who moved the capital to Baghdad and ushered in a golden age. This was the true birth of a new Islamic civilization. It was not purely Arab, but a fusion. Persian administrative genius, Greek philosophy, Indian mathematics, and Chinese technology were absorbed, criticized, and advanced under the unifying canopy of the Arabic language and Islamic law. While Europe entered its so-called Dark Ages, the Caliphate became the world's lighthouse of science, philosophy, and cosmopolitan culture. It was the oikumene, the inhabited world, reborn under a new paradigm. The implications of this 7th-8th century explosion are our present reality. 1. A permanent geopolitical and religious landscape. The map of the Middle East and North Africa was permanently altered. Islam became a world religion, the dominant civilizational force across 3 continents. 2. The guardian of knowledge. Islamic civilization preserved and expanded the Hellenistic and Persian knowledge that would later fuel the European Renaissance. 3. The enduring schism. The Sunni-Shia divide, born in those early decades, remains a powerful fault line. 4. A model of rapid civilizational formation. It stands as history's clearest example of how a potent idea, unifying faith, law, and community, can catalyze a geopolitical and cultural superstructure with breathtaking speed. Lesson learned. The rise of Islam forces a confrontation with the power of revelation and community. Like the Israelites forming a nation from a covenant at Sinai, the Ummah was formed by a revelation in a cave. Its veracity as a historical force is unquestionable. Its theological claims are a matter of faith. But its historical lesson is this: when a message provides profound answers to societal fractures, offers a clear identity, and is carried by a community with unshakable conviction, it can forge empires and civilizations that endure for millennia. It completed the Abrahamic triad, challenging both its older siblings, Judaism and Christianity, as the Quran itself engages them. People of the book, let us come to a common word between us, that we worship none but God. What you may not have thought of, the modern world, from the universities you attend to the algorithms on your phone, rooted in algebra, carries the DNA of that Abbasid synthesis. The tensions between religious law and secular state, between unity and sectarianism that we see today, were all present in that formative century. The storm that rose from the desert didn't just conquer land. It crafted a lens through which hundreds of millions still view the world, God, and their place in the great story that began. Not with a kingdom or an army, but with a single urgent word in the dark: recite. This is Hidden Histories. Like, share, and subscribe for more biblical mysteries, ancient truths, and forbidden knowledge revealed daily.